We are here. Lovely breakfast room. Did you eat here this morning, actually?
No, actually,
No?
I didn't.
There's a lot of options around.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're here with John Roth, if you couldn't already tell. Starship, Winger, Giant, Black Oak, Arkansas. Anything else you want to name? You want to keep listing them?
You could keep go Survivor, Jimmy
go
Jameson. Yeah, but those are the principal bands.
Yes, yeah. So we're here.
You got most of it.
Pretty early in the year. So do you want to give a quick recap? You did some pretty big gigs with all your bands. You had some pretty big Starship gigs and Winger gigs in 2022. You want to give a quick recap of what happened last year?
We had did some Europe stuff with Starship. Did Monsters of Rock cruise with Winger. Doing the On the Blue cruise this year.
Yes.
With Starship coming. It used to be called the Moody Blues cruise.
Okay.
That's coming up. Got the Monsters of Rock. Coming up again with Winger.
I will see you there, by the way.
Oh, good deal. So you've done it before?
Yes, I did it last
Awesome.
year, too, and you're stuck with me this year.
Yeah, man. You have a good time?
I did have a good time.
Yeah, Monsters of Rock cruise is like a family reunion.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah, it's a blast.
How is it compared to the other, because you actually can do like different genres of cruises. How is it compared to the other cruises?
Okay, so one year I did the Monsters of Rock cruise. Larry Moran, who runs the Monsters of Rock cruise, also does several other cruises. He does the On the Edge, which is a Prague. It's a Prague thing. Yes, does that. And he does On the Blue. It was called the Moody Blues cruise years ago. But so I remember doing the. I stayed on the boat. I did the Monsters of Rock cruise, and then did the. It was called Moody Blues cruise then. With it was On the Blue now, and the demographic was so different because. You had an older crowd on the Blue Cruise, and Monsters of Rock is it's 80s rockers, tats and long hair, and it's a rowdy time. And then On the Blue Cruise came around, and it was very very much more chilled.
You got to be on your best behavior on that cruise.
I wouldn't go this far to say that, because people were definitely letting their hair down. It's just a little bit different of a crowd, of a demographic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how is that in general? Because this is just not just cruises. This is your life. Like you got to balance all these different kinds of bands. How is it, not just scheduling wise to like keep up with all of them, but like mentality wise, how do you treat them differently?
Well, it's exactly the same, only totally different. It's people have asked me before, like, man, do you ever like walk on stage with Winger and think you're going to play a Starship song? I'm like, no, the bands are so different.
Yeah.
Just from a musical standpoint. The guitar in Starship, we tuned to standard tuning.
Yeah.
Winger, we tuned down to D. It's a full step down. It's darker, heavier music.
Yeah.
I can just tell by the tension of my guitar strings that I'm with a different band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's challenging wise, more so like logistically, like figuring out what part of the country I'm in. I need to get to this gig and do that. I have subs that sub some great musicians, guitar players that have subbed for me in both bands. So I just make it all happen. Sometimes looking at my calendar looks like I'm putting together a puzzle or something.
Yeah.
But the music is it's all rock and roll.
Yep.
My approach is the same with both bands. Same kind of tone, same guitars, that kind of thing. But it's just they're so different that a whole other side of me kind of comes out when I step on stage with a different band. It's like Winger, my role is more supportive. There's 3 guitar players in that band.
Yeah.
Reb Beach being the main, the great Reb Beach being the
Hi,
main
Reb.
lead guitar player. Hey Reb, what's up, my brother? I sing a whole lot in that band. A lot of background vocals.
And some lead. We saw Jane on the cruise.
Yeah, every now and then I'll do a lead vocal part. Yeah, sure. And in Starship, I'm the only guitar player. I'm the lead guitarist and the only. So I got a lot of pedal jumping and a lot of clean to dirty, a lot of different sounds and stuff going on. So it keeps me on my toes, man.
So it's definitely. Would you say it's good for you to like have that balance where you can also like in Starship where it's all about John Roth, and then Winger you can kind of. Not relax a little bit, but you don't
There's
have to.
no relaxing. No, there's not. The music with Winger, the music is pretty complicated.
Yeah.
The guitar parts are. Winger's a weird band in the sense that it's a pop metal kind of thing, but it's also has progressive elements in it. So there's some odd time signatures every now and then, and there's a lot of one timers, things that happen in songs that happen one time, and if you miss it, you're toast. And so musically, there's there's a lot going on. Not that there's Starship's got some really some songs that are very tricky, and they're deceiving. You know, you might think they're really simple. Like a song like "We Built the City on Rock and Roll."
Yeah.
That song has got a lot of changes in it, and it's very cleverly written song. But with Winger, like I said, the songs are a little bit more progressive, and there's a lot of singing high parts over playing. You're singing legato while you're playing staccato. There's a lot going on musically between the vocals and the guitars that keeps you on your toes with Winger. So there's no relaxing on that gig really, and the set changes too. You know.
Yeah. So Winger, you joined in '92, correct? Or
Winger, yes, '92, yeah.
So both of them, you had to learn like songs from their previous catalog for Winger and Starship.
Sure.
Did you take a different approach from one to the other, or was it the same? Like, what's your method to learning songs? I play
by ear.
Okay.
You know, and so just sit down with the records and listen to them. You know, I mean, like. I don't go on, you know, well, especially with Winger, there was no YouTube. You couldn't go and watch somebody play the song and like, their hands on the you know, the 18th fret or whatever. None of that. So I just play by ear, just sit down and listen to the songs and pick them out. So it's pretty much exactly the same process as far as learning songs go, you know.
So how did you actually get the gig with Starship? Who contacted you for that?
Okay, so this is a very bittersweet story.
All right.
Got good and bad memories of it. A lot of people don't know, I came into Starship after a guitarist, Mark Abrahamian. Mark passed away.
Yeah.
Okay, so he died of a heart attack in 2012.
Okay.
So Jeff Adams, the bass player in Starship, I also played in Survivor. Jimmy Jamison's Survivor. I played with Jeff Adams. Go back a long time with Jeff. So Jeff was in Starship, and he's been in the band 25 years. He called me, after Mark had passed away, and said, we've got some. Are you available to sub some shows? We canceled some, but we're moving ahead with some of these. And I'm like, sure. I'd be glad to come in and sub.
Yeah.
One of the hardest gigs I ever walked into, because emotionally it was so hard for the band. I was feeling for them. They just lost one of their brothers, and normally I'd be like, hey guys, glad to be here. But
you can't really do that.
When I showed up at the airport, I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I'm here. Whatever I can do to help you guys get through the gig other than play the gig, so very sad starting out. And I just was subbing a few shows. I just finished a run with Winger. Reb was going back out with Whitesnake, had a big long hole, and Mickey just ended up asking me to join the band after I played a few shows at Starship. Actually, he asked me to join the band on stage at Epcot in front of a sold-out house, America Gardens Theater. He just was like, hey, Mickey, he's just so humble. He's like, hey. Said something like, hey, John, did we pass the audition? Will you join the band? And I was pretty surprised. I mean, I knew that he was going to ask you. I just didn't know it was going to be on the spot in front of thousands of people.
And I'm guessing you said yes.
I said yes, of course. So long story short, that's why I said it's bittersweet. I still think about Mark, and the band does. We still think about Mark as a great guy, great guitar player, and there's always that time where there are times I'm on stage with Starship going, man, I'm so happy to be here, but in a way, like I said, it's kind of bittersweet. At first I felt a little guilty about getting in the band just because of the situation.
Yeah, for sure. But now it seems you guys have all definitely, like, I'm seeing, like, from mostly Sean, I ran into her earlier, but like from her Facebook post, you guys all seem like you've just grown so tight as a family. Can you give a little, like, kind of backstage peek into what it's like just before a show, all you guys hanging out, like how close you guys are?
Well, it's kind of no different from any other band. Everybody's warming up, joking around. Let's face it, we hang out a lot more than we play. I tell people I get paid to travel and play guitar for free or whatever.
Not a bad gig.
Well, it's not. That's the hard part, though. When you're traveling constantly for years and years and years, it doesn't matter if you're in the front of the plane, the back of the plane. It's travel. You know what I mean? So our time together is when we play music. It's an hour. You play for an hour and 15 minutes. And you spend the whole day trying to get to the show, and sound check takes a minute. So you get to play your guitar during sound check. So it's a lot of travel, a lot of hang. So it's important that there's chemistry on a personal level, because face it, you're hanging out way more than you're playing music. You're actually working, So it's like Starship's like a family. Everyone gets along great. Same thing with Winger. I'm blessed to be working with really cool folks. And, face it, we've been doing this for years and years, and I've been a Winger 30 years. So obviously, the chemistry's working there. Everyone gets along. We laugh, joke, have a great time, because that's kind of what we get paid to do, is to hang out and travel,
And do you think that makes the shows themselves better? Because you can tell when somebody's enjoying what they're doing.
Absolutely. When there's a rift between band members, there's nothing worse to walk on. Because this is about having a good time. I mean, you want the audience to have a good time, because it's like a symbiotic relationship you have with your audience. The more you give them, they give back. It just keeps getting better and better. And if someone, there's bad vibes or some kind of, bad blood in the band, that you can't get that connection with your bandmates when something's off, And then the audience, they can sense it, man,
Yeah.
So
they're smart. They know what's going on.
They're in tune. If they don't sense it, they're not watching it. They can, they can feel when the band's having a good time. And you want to. And you'll see when you come to the show tonight, the Starship show at Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center. I'm going to let everyone know that before I forget, that it's a great chemistry. Everyone has a lot of fun on stage. Mickey's a great, amazing singer, great performer, fun, jokes around, loose. It's a great time.
And so now, how many, or not how many, but how filled is your schedule now, Starship-wise, looking forward? I see you got the cruise next week.
Yeah, Starship's got a lot of dates. We're doing the cruise next week, and then I go straight from the cruise to a Winger gig in Puerto Rico, and then I got Starship in Minnesota. This is really the slow time of year.
Yeah.
And it's been busy. I mean, like December normally December's it's pretty dead. We do maybe 1 or 2 gigs. Got the holidays going on. A lot of people, the industry kind of slows down at that time. But we played a lot. We played 6 gigs, I think, in December. And I'm surprised I'm working, as much as we are right now, which is great, because summer's always busy. Summer and fall, spring, summer and fall. That's when things really pick up. So things are looking great for Starship and Winger. Both bands are going to be playing a lot.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can talk. Will we be seeing you on the road with any other bands this year that you know of, or that you can say?
You mean with me playing with?
Yes.
Probably not. Because
you're a bit booked, but
I'm going to be. These 2 bands keep me way busy. I do some acoustic now. Locally, I live in Memphis, so I do some local gigs in Memphis,
which is a good area for music.
There's a lot of great music, great musicians. I do some local acoustic gigs just for fun with Corey Myers, who's my buddy who plays with Tom Kiefer Band.
Okay.
Corey plays keys with Tom Kiefer Band, and he and I have played together around Memphis a long time. So that's the only thing I really have going on musically, is just some acoustic duo gigs. Yeah. But as far as other bands, it's funny now that I think about that. Okay, so Starship we play some gigs where it's called Classic Voices of Rock and Roll. They're really just corporate shows, but we'll back up other singers. We've backed up everyone from Eddie Money to Belinda Carlisle, Taylor Dane to Wally Palmer from the Romantics, John Cafferty, Skip Martin from Kool and the Gang, Mike Reno from Loverboy. Yeah. So we'll play 3 or 4 of their songs. So as far as now that you mentioned that, I will be playing some dates with some other singers, but it'll be the Starship band backing them up.
So is that fun for you to just kind of to get to just learn other people's catalogs just as a little exercise warm up? That's fun.
Yeah, it's a cool opportunity, and it's fun to watch the guys, hear the guys in the band play other people's music. Yeah. Because when you're in a national act, you're touring, you're playing the same songs. The set list might change, but you're playing their songs unless you do a cover or something like that. And so backing up these other singers, it's really cool to learn someone else's songs. It's like being in a cover band, but not. You're playing with the artist. Like Taylor Dane, amazing singer. We've backed her up several times. You wouldn't think Starship, you get to see Starship playing Taylor Dane songs. But it happens. We learned, we worked with Belinda Carlisle last year. We we normally do like 3 or 4 songs, but we'll on that show we did a 30-minute set with everyone. We did 45 minutes with Belinda, and she was a sweetheart to work with. We learned 45 minutes of her show. That's almost all of her hits with the Go-Go's, and so that was a big chunk of music to bite off, and cool to see the band pull it off so well, and to hear our band's slant on her music.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So now you knew this was coming. I saw you guys have been in the studio, Winger.
Sure.
I don't know how much you're allowed to say. I don't want to get you in trouble unless you want to get in trouble. But
no, it's cool. We'll talk about the Winger album.
Whatever you can tell us, go ahead and tell. I don't have any. Yeah,
right.
I don't have any specific questions because I don't want to mislead you into tricking you into saying anything.
And we don't have it'll be on Frontiers in May or June. We don't have a release date yet. 12 songs on the album. One song, pretty big surprise. There's always there's always to me at least, there's always a song on a Winger album that comes at you from left field. On Karma, we did a blues song. Kip and I co-wrote a song called After All This Time. On Better Days Coming, the title track Better Days Coming is kind of funky and it's fun and it's different from Winger. Winger's a pretty heavier, darker, metal-ish kind of band. Yeah. So there's a song on this album that's very different for the band, which is cool. Yeah. Which is it's meticulously produced and recorded. Tons of layers of background vocals. Yeah. It's maybe a heavier lyrically, maybe. All Winger's records have a heavier overtone, because the guitars are tuned low. Yeah. It's just more aggressive, and there's a little bit of a progressive flair on one of the songs. But I think people are going to really enjoy the album. It's going to be. I hope it's well received.
Can you talk a little bit about the writing process for that? Did you guys all write like remotely, or was it a big group session?
Kip and Reb are the primary songwriters in the band. They are the nucleus. So But I did co-write one song on this album with Kip, and so with Winger, it normally starts the musical idea. Yeah. A lot of people write from lyrics and melodies. Most of the songs I write, I have a melody or a lyric which is like the nucleus or the starting point for a song. But with Winger, it's a riff. It's a musical idea, and I remember when I was first writing, I was co-writing with Kip on some songs on Better Days Coming. We're not demoing the songs. As we're writing them, we're recording the actual song. So I'm looking at him going, how do you know that this? You just want one more bar here. He's like, I hear where I want to go with the lyrics, and I'm like, because you're making a lot of really big time decisions for the arrangement, and we're recording final guitar parts, and the lyrics have to revolve around it. So every in the melodies, everything starts with the music with Winger. But as the songs are being written and the riffs are coming about, the melodies are in Kip's head. Kip's the maestro. He's the maestro of the band. So he's thinking as we're writing what the melodies are how they're gonna work around the riffs, and inevitably making final judgment calls on the arrangement as we're cutting the songs. Used to you demo songs. Used to you demo a song out, and sometimes you couldn't beat the demo. You'd be like, there's a magic on the demo we cannot beat. So Winger really doesn't have that problem anymore, because as we're writing the songs, we're cutting the final parts. Yeah.
So that's an interesting way of doing it then. Mm-hmm. So do you enjoy it that way?
I like it. Because it moves. Yeah. Stuff moves fast. Yeah. It's quick. It's exciting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because a song can sit there when you're layering parts on a song for months at a time. It can get a little bit too thought out. You know what I mean? So when you're writing and you're creating the song, the final, when you're doing just writing it instead of coming up with a demo, it's exciting. Things move fast.
Well, that is all I have for you. If there's anything else we didn't touch on, you got a busy year coming up that you want to touch on, let me know. But that's all I've got.
JohnRoth.com, that's my website. I post all my dates there. I'm on Facebook. I'm sure you'll put links on
Absolutely,
this. But
yes.
it was nice to be able to catch up with you.
Yes, you as well, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will see you.
My pleasure.
I will see you
See you
shortly.
tonight at the show.
Yes.
Starship, Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.